Recently, this Twitch streamer named Bishu forced his chat to make music out of this Twitter bot that just like tweets out AI-generated music, and it's it's a good thing that Twitter didn't exist in the 1770s, because Mozart would have been out of a job. Now, Bishu does tend to like my stuff.
Oh! This is about to be insane. Ooh! You're a king. God, I love you. Daddylacus. Oh my god, the chords. Big dub, big dub. You win. Should make a YouTube or something.
But specifically after this track, Bishu said,
"This is fucking genius. That was so sick. You gotta make a video on this one."
Oh, why should you stick around?
I don't know.
Well, here's a quick sample of the song. Here's another. Your brain getting sucked up. Oh, but here's where it started. Anyway, as we know from Hans Zimmer, the best music is written in the key of D.
I like writing in D.
So as to not insult that music, I wrote this in,
I don't know.
But regardless, I don't know why, but after putting the electric keys into the sampler, this is all I'd wanted to play. And by the way, this is an original composition, so, and you should not fight me on that, so. Whoa, wait, daddylacus, what are even all the sounds that you're working with? Well, first off, we have a piano. And wow, that is boring, so let's delete that and not use it. 2, this is a trash can lid? I truly don't know. 3, the choir. It's incredible. I mean, watch out, Eric Whitaker. This joke was brought to you by all the choir nerds out there. Well, I guess it really wasn't a joke. Whatever. Who cares? Not you. 4, a vibey electric keyboard. Immaculate vibes. Like 10 out of 10. Would generate again. And finally, number 5, cannons. Which, despite what I said previously, actually are tuned to the key of D. Which in this case stands for destruction. Okay, so listen. The choir sample got me into a reflective, pensive mood. I mean, listen to it. What about this wouldn't cause you to reflect on that relationship-ending thing that you said during your first serious relationship? So I put it into a sampler and I created a drone. No, not that kind, this kind. Then I threw a little churchy, minor kind of chant on top of it, and I figured out that I wanted to have a little Picardy third.
What is the Picardy third?
It just means going from a minor feeling phrase to a major chord finish. I doubled that with the electric keys sample, which sounded like this, which I liked, but it still didn't have enough thickness to it. So I added a pedal tone in the bass, which was 2 basses stacked up. But were we thick enough yet? No. We grabbed the Ableton choir sound and threw it to the right, and then we grabbed an organ sound and threw it to the left to really fill everything out. At that point, it sounded like this. There's some EQ on different elements, as well as reverb and a glue compressor, but we needed some more ambiance. Now, I knew that I wanted to play around with this church service idea, and who attends church? People, usually. So I added in this background ambience of a group of people chatting. And then I rounded out the intro with this cool pan flute that I found on Splice. I put it into the track, I doubled it to harmonize with itself, and then I added a boatload of reverb. So picture it. You have had a tough week at work. I mean it. Your boss sucks.
I'm also going to need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday.
And you love your family, but the daily stress of caring for 32 children is a lot to handle. So when Sunday rolls around and you get the opportunity to go, sit, unwind, and connect to your community, you take it. And you're standing in the pew, catching up with Svetlana. The music ends, and you hear this.
It's very uplifting because it's...
Guys, this video is sponsored by the subscribe button, who recently lost some weight by completing P90X. They are feeling confident and a little flirty, so if you think you can handle what they've got going on, go ahead and take a trip downstairs, like below this video, and see if you can tap that button, the subscribe button. Please subscribe. All right, boom, next section, we're talking drums. The samples are being used in a few spots. I made a kick drum out of the cannons. which wasn't very good, so I ended up doubling it with another kick, but we are also using the trash can lid sample. Rounded all of that out with a rim shot and then a hi-hat loop that kind of sounds like a clock ticking, which altogether sounds like this. The keys and bass are all the same instruments in this section, but let's talk about the theory, because these chord changes, that's what. Now, can I make theory interesting? I'm gonna try. In music theory, there is a chord change called a tritone substitution, and it is super cool. If you've heard my music before, but especially what's on SoundCloud, then you've probably heard it before.
Oh shit, it's a furry spaceman hanging out on the moon.
Basically, it is when you take a dominant 7th chord, which is a major triad with an added flat 7th. Side note, this is the chord that gives Barbershop its signature sound. And then you take the root and the 5th of that chord and you throw them up a tritone. This creates the same chord, a dominant 7th chord, but with a new root. So with all that said, and played more simply, the tritone substitution sounds like this. So is that what I did in this song? No. Whoops, you just learned some theory.
What?
But I did base the idea of the chord changes in this on that. The difference is that the first chord is a minor 7th chord, and then the second chord is a major 7th chord, neither of which are dominant. They're more submissive, if you ask me. Moving on to the vocals, I've always been a fan of when people talk about subjects that are generally spoken about with great care, like religion, for example. Or maybe it's even a nerdier subject matter, but people talk about it with like the same bravado as like a wrestler or a football player would. It's like, instead of saying, wow, the voices in that choir blended so beautifully that you could hear the overtones ringing out above the blah, 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 you'd say something more like, holy hell, they f***ed the shit out of those chords. So when I approached the idea of writing what a sermon at the daddylacus sanctuary would be like, I wrote some lyrics based on that vibe, completed with a musical fourth wall break where I talked about the changing keys.
Now we gotta change.
Hey. Oh yeah, that's right. I also sang the chords, which is kind of the staple of my sound, but I did so with some very creative lyrics.
Yeah, see, you're fucked up.
I wrapped it up with a little verse about AI-generated sermons to tie in the Twitterbot theme.
All of my sermons are coming from Twitter. AI generation makes them bitter.
And I put in a little chopped up pan flute Easter egg. And then section 2 was complete. Section 3 is post-sermon and has a little monologue about Mario rescuing Peach, in the same way that a church youth leader can craft a biblical lesson out of pretty much anything.
Sometimes you have to go to great lengths to save the princess.
The fake church accompanist, referred to as Jeffrey, plays us out with a rendition of the Dire Dire Docks theme from Mario 64. This original song that I made. But other than the crowd noise coming back underneath the outro monologue, that was everything in the last section. Now, because of time constraints to master the track, literally all I did was put a little EQ, some OTT, a glue compressor, and a limiter on the track. I definitely could have done better, but you know what they say. Oh, you do? Oh, good. Well, then I don't have to tell you, and we can just watch Bishu react to the track.
Please be seated and welcome to the daddylacus sanctuary. For those of you who haven't been here before, we're about to get your brain getting.
He's fucking back, baby!
Now we gotta. Hey, that's strange. Cause all of my sermons are coming from Twitter. AI generation makes them bitter. I put them on the stove, I watch them simmer while I use my AI sermon emitter. And with that, I just want to say thank you all for coming today. I think it was a beautiful service. We're going to have Jeffrey over there play us out. Oh, a beautiful song about swimming, about going through life and understanding that you might come up against some resistance as you go through this world, but it's okay. And like we learned from Mario,
go sub to daddylacus.
sometimes you have to go to great lengths to save the princess.
One more time.
We're about to get your brain getting. Now we gotta.
You gotta make a video on this one.